All right, let's kick off this deep dive. And today we're going to be looking at Aditya Deshmukh's career journey, specifically his LinkedIn profile. And just scrolling through it, I mean, the guy's a serious cloud connoisseur, right? Google Cloud Platform, AWS, Azure, he's done it all.
Yeah, and what's striking to me is it's not just one, it's all three of those major players.
Hmm.
Shows a real deep understanding of cloud tech as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just the tech itself. Look at the skills he's highlighting: technical direction, stakeholder management, optimization. It's like he's conducting an orchestra or something.
Exactly. I mean, it's one thing to know the tech, but it's another thing entirely to lead teams, manage expectations, optimize those solutions. Those skills are critical, especially when you're in a leadership role.
Makes you think how he developed all that, right? Was it experience, mentors, personality? Something to figure out as we go deeper, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. And speaking of things that stand out, trilingual, English, Marathi, Hindi. Wow.
Yeah, super impressive. But beyond just being impressive, how do you think that played out in his career? Like, did it
Yeah.
open any doors or help him build stronger relationships, especially with international teams?
Yeah, those are really good questions. I mean, think about it. Knowing Marathi and Hindi probably helped him build those connections with teams in India, a huge hub for tech.
Yeah.
And looking ahead, I see he later builds and manages these offshore development centers. Wouldn't be surprised if his language skills were key there.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's almost like having those language skills gives him the secret weapon, helps him navigate the global tech landscape with more like agility and cultural understanding.
For sure. And that cultural intelligence is so important, especially when you're managing teams across different time zones and different cultures.
Definitely. So let's go back to the meeting, right? His career path starts in 2007 with Cognizant, then moves to Wipro, then HCL Americas. Seems like a pretty clear upward trajectory there.
Totally. But it's not just about climbing the ladder, right? What I find interesting is his focus on analytics and information management. Every move seems to deepen his expertise, leading him to those more specialized roles.
Like he's strategically leveling up in a video game, gaining new skills with each transition. And speaking of leveling up, look at all those certifications: data, cloud tech, the whole stack. Seems like he saw where the industry was heading pretty early on.
Oh yeah, definitely seems to have his finger on the pulse of the tech world. That explosion of cloud computing and data analytics, it created such huge demand, and he was ready for it.
Some serious foresight there. Okay, so let's fast forward a bit to his time at Maven Wave, an AWS company. He's leading pre-sales pursuits. Seems like a pretty crucial role in the world of tech solutions. What does it actually involve, though? Was he just pitching ideas, or is there more to it?
Oh, it's definitely more than just pitching. Think of it like this. He's bridging the gap between what's technically possible and what the client actually needs. He's basically the architect, designing the blueprints before the builders come in.
So he needs to understand the tech really well, but also communicate those capabilities so clients get it and make sure it meets their needs.
Exactly. Technical expertise, business acumen, and communication skills. And looking at his career, it looks like he excelled at it.
Makes sense. And now he's the Global Senior Vice President at Bespin Global US, leading technical sales and professional services teams. That's a massive responsibility. And he's also driving GenAI and data initiatives. What does that even mean? Break it down for us.
Sure. GenAI is generative AI, using AI to create things like text, code, images even. It's exploding right now, so him being involved shows he's really staying ahead of the curve. Leading these initiatives means he's not just understanding the tech, he's figuring out how to make it valuable for the company and for its clients.
So from understanding the building blocks to now leading the charge and developing those cutting-edge solutions using AI, what a journey.
It really is, and it looks like his journey is far from over. Let's dig a bit deeper into his time at Bespin Global and see what other insights we can find.
Okay, so we've established that his current role has him guiding these teams, shaping tech strategies, even diving into GenAI. But what I find really interesting is that even as he's progressed into these really high-level positions, he still emphasizes hands-on solution sales on his LinkedIn. Plus, he's also focused on building those, quote, strong, competent teams in applications, data engineering, machine learning. Like he's not just content to sit back and delegate.
You're right. That's a great observation, and it actually says a lot about his leadership style. By
Yeah.
staying so involved in the technical side and team building, he's not just keeping up with the tech, but he's also building trust with his teams, leading by example.
Right, totally. Okay, let's get into some specifics he mentions at Bespin Global US. He talks about helping customers with cloud journey solutions, professional services, managed services. Sounds pretty comprehensive. What exactly does that entail?
Yeah, sounds like the full package to help clients move to the cloud. So solutions, probably means figuring out the right cloud setup for each client. Professional services, I'm thinking consulting, training, making sure the client's team can actually use this new cloud environment. And managed services probably means Bespin Global handles the day-to-day stuff for the client so they can focus on their own business.
Wow, so they cover everything, from planning and setup to running it all smoothly. No wonder he's so focused on building those strong U.S. and offshore engineering teams. You need a lot of talent to do all that.
For sure. And like we discussed earlier, building those teams across different locations, that's not easy.
Right, it takes serious planning and communication. His experience before Bespin Global might give us some clues about how he tackles this. Let's go back a bit to his time at GSPen Technologies and Salama Technologies. Those roles seem to have cemented his data analytics expertise.
Yeah, you're spot on. Data is like gold for businesses these days. Anyone who can understand it and find the important stuff is incredibly valuable. And Aditya clearly spent time mastering that.
Makes sense why his later roles lean into that so heavily. So this focus on data analytics wasn't just a side thing. It set him up to lead those data-driven initiatives and build those specialized teams.
Exactly. And it's worth noting, his time at Maven Wave wasn't just about data. He got experience in the whole project lifecycle. Solutions architecture, proof of concepts, workshops, proposals, contracts, all of it. He wasn't just a tech guy, he was learning the business side too.
That's super important. You can have the best solution in the world, but if you can't get it off the ground, what's the point? Maven Wave seems to have given him that big picture perspective.
Definitely. Speaking of big picture, his role at Decision Minds is really interesting. He was responsible for setting up and managing a delivery organization, aiming for $8 million in revenue. That's moving beyond just tech leadership, that's business development, financial management.
Like running his own mini business within the company. I bet that taught him a lot about strategic planning and making things profitable. But did he actually succeed?
It's like it. He mentions growing the offshore development center to 50 people in 9 months. That's incredibly fast growth, especially building a team from scratch. Shows he can really get people on board with his vision, track talent, and create a team that works.
Yeah, very impressive. Before Decision Minds, he held leadership roles at HCL Americas and Wipro Technologies, consistently focused on solution sales and customer success and analytics and information management. We're seeing a clear pattern here.
Definitely. He keeps showing that he can build and manage teams, take on more responsibility, and deliver results. But what's really interesting to me is that even with that focus on the bottom line, his LinkedIn still emphasizes collaboration and team building. He gets it. In tech, you don't succeed alone.
And it's not just about building any team, it's about building the right team. We've talked about his focus on U.S. and offshore engineering teams. What do you think about that approach? Is it just about saving money, or is there a deeper strategy there?
Oh, it's definitely more than just saving money. While tapping into global talent can be cost-effective, it also brings in a wider range of skills, different points of view. Building teams in different locations gives companies access to more diverse talent, helps them adapt to different markets, even offer 24/7 support sometimes. But it's not without its challenges.
Like what kinds of challenges might he have faced managing these teams all over the world?
Well, communication's a big one. Different time zones, language barriers, cultural differences. It can all lead to misunderstandings if you're not careful. And then there's the challenge of building trust and a good team spirit when people might rarely meet face to face. You need a leader who's not just good with tech, but also understands different cultures and knows how to make people work well together, even when they're miles apart.
So it's not just about the technical stuff. It's about having that global mindset, bridging those cultural gaps, building a strong team from all these different people. Looking back at his career, do you think those leadership qualities were always there, or did they develop as he took on these global roles?
That's a good question. I think it's probably a bit of both. Some people are natural leaders. Others develop those skills through experience and challenges. In Aditya's case, knowing multiple languages from a young age exposed him to different cultures. And that, combined with his focus on teamwork and collaboration, probably set him up for success in managing global teams.
So his career isn't just about climbing the ladder. It's about developing those key leadership qualities, that global mindset.
Exactly. Makes you wonder, what strategies did he use to overcome the challenges of managing these global teams? Did he have specific communication rules, cultural sensitivity training, team-building activities? We might be able to find out as we continue digging into his LinkedIn profile.
We've seen Aditya's career go from lead contributor at Cognizant to global senior vice president at Bespin Global. We've seen his smart moves focusing on cloud computing and data analytics, his commitment to learning, and his talent for building great teams all over the world. But there's one thing we haven't talked about yet, his master's degree in computer science.
Well, that's interesting you mentioned that. In a lot of tech profiles, education's like the big thing, front and center. But with Aditya, it's almost like a side note. Not saying education isn't important, but it's clear that his real-world experience and the choices he made in his career had a much bigger impact.
Yeah, it's like the degree was the starting point, but his drive to learn new tech and build those strong, competent teams he talks about, that's what really pushed him forward. And all those certifications, serverless data analysis, machine learning, building resilient streaming systems, it shows he's serious about constantly learning.
Definitely. And don't forget, he speaks 3 languages. That's not just something to put on a resume. It shows he understands different cultures and can connect with people from different backgrounds. In tech, those soft skills are just as important as knowing how to code.
Totally agree. Seems like Aditya's success comes from that mix of technical skills and being able to connect with people. So, thinking about our listener, what are the key takeaways from Aditya's career journey?
Well, it shows that a successful tech career isn't just about coding or having a fancy degree. It's about adapting, always learning new things, and being able to build and lead great teams in a world that's getting more complex all the time.
He's a cloud connoisseur, not just in terms of technology, but also in how he understands people.
Exactly. And his story shows us that success is rarely a solo effort. It's about working together, connecting different cultures, and creating spaces where everyone feels valued.
Hmm.
It's about recognizing that we all have the potential to do great things when we have the right opportunities and support. Makes you think. What if we all learned from Aditya, embraced that constant learning, and focused on building those bridges? What kind of impact could we have, not just in our careers, but in the world?
That's something to really think about. And remember, if there's another career path you'd like us to explore, or anything else you want to deep dive into, we're here to help you navigate that sea of information and find those hidden gems. Until next time, happy exploring.